This how we coming like this for real. Cause it's imminent out here for real. Everybody in this space, all of us in this space, we all know we got monitoring spirits and haters up in the space. So I'm gonna bring it straight to the hater face. And this is strictly to y'all. This is the deepest lesson of defense against the dark arts. The self. So, to begin, we going in with the Solomonic journey with the lesser keys, greater keys. The lesser keys, if applied properly, nurtured properly, because during those times, adolescence, course correction, that's when those keys can be given over, handed over to the estate, if you will, once they become of age to navigate, if you will. That's the importance of the white and black. If you don't really understand, then you have a lack. So, if you go back to the past lesson when I said dispelling the spells, black being of standing in law, even AI said that was a clause. It's because, well, once you graduate of right mind, once you take these lesser keys, you can access the gate. And so, beginning with the root, base, most foremost grounded nature needed for survival, opposition, or death. Okay? We all know that. Physiologically, I say I utilize the clock, the zodiacal wheel, with the bodies, governing bodies. And there are 4 cardinals, 4 fixed signs, 4 mutables. Cardinal points of the body being the points that lead and direct the body, such as the head being the ram, chest being Cancer, hips being Libra, knees being Capricorn. So when you're grounding at the root, the foremost root, think of the Capricorn with the goat knees. He coming fresh up out the water. The 2 fish being the feet, them your Pisces. When you work hard, soak them. The Aquarian, them the shins. They pour the water. A lot of them have sciatic nerve issues, and it messes with their shins. I'm gonna say that's for my mama. They hold water, the water bearers. They fix, so are the shins physiologically. But up next is the director of the lower nature, the lowest nature, which is the shins and the feet. This is where the zodiacal wheel and the spiritual and the logical meet. The director, the knees of the shins and the feet, is Capricorn. That's your grounder. It deals with foundation. Foremost materialism, if not transmuted correctly. It is with gains because it is with survival. In the opposition, it can be fear of that, which can be fear of survival or the potential of death. You go to a certain book, I'm not going to do it yet, but we'll get into that. That's a good segue where it shows that the demiurge is a creator of death. The foundation. Cardinal point again, the knees that direct the shins and the water, and the shins and the feet in navigation, all right? That doesn't mean it's most important. It just means it's the director. Because as we know, the feet being of Jupiter is of the biggest planet, them 2 fish, all right? Now, so then we go to the sacral. This is the sphere of creativity. Your sacral actually being a vertebrae between, like they said, S2 and S4 of your spine, your sacral coccyx. Is it the sacral coccyx? Your sacral coccyx. Or is it the sacral and then the coccyx? Forgive me if I'm do a lot. This is the center for creativity because this is the base for sexual energy. And this is the transmutation where you take that sexual energy like Napoleon Hill was putting in, Get Rich, Think or Grow Rich, sexual transmutation. These people incorrectly utilizing sexual alchemy for the wrong purpose, but Tantra, done properly. But for creativity, these energies can be used to transmute, give you the drive, especially if you have a lot of fire in your chart. Give you that drive. And on to the next one, the solar plexus, that will to generate enough heat for you to access to the heart. Okay? Sacral chakra is glowing orange. Negative, it can be lust, known for eros. Hedonism. Don't fall too deep into hedonism. It can be seen as Persephone, possibly the Virgo. It can be seen as Persephone, queen of the Greek chthonic realm, who was kidnapped. That's why in its most negative form can be seen as lust or eros. Don't fall to it, but use those energies to generate a charge to your sun, your solar plexus. And I like this here. And I'm gonna go here because it's metaphysics to go here. So we're gonna say the solar plexus, equivalent. Well, the chakra glowing nature is yellow, equivalent to the sun, Helios or Apollo, known as the Leo, fixed position, known for either courage, self-esteem, or if too fine-tuned into a distortion, can lead to a tyrannical leader, lack of self-confidence, known as the cowardly lion. This solar plexus, to me, is metaphysically referenced because, as we know, it's still one of the lesser keys. The solar plexus, though, still being the lesser key, is integral because you need these keys to access that gateway and to move on to the upper, the greater keys. Genesis chapter 3, verse 24. So he drove out the man, and he placed at the east of the Garden of Eden cherubim and a flaming sword which turned every way to keep the way of the tree of life. The solar plexus when you're dealing with the solar plexus, your identity, your courage, your self-esteem, this is where delusions, if too unfinely tuned, can set in. But I like what the lady says, man. Use your delusions, utilize your delusions. Fear is how the enemy is appeared to be external. And this is why this is an important lesson, mostly dedicated to my haters. Because absolutely they're going to respond externally. But as a law of mentalism, this is my entire creation. Everything that I experience. These keys are your dimensions. These keys are your timeline. When you understand time is timeless, it is due to these keys. Ultimately, these keys are decisions. The lesser keys is why there's a saying, And it was agreed upon, great person in thought, it was agreed upon, you want to hear God laugh, tell him your plan. These lesser keys are the development of survival, but your creativity of the energy of the base nature for you to establish a good, healthy self-esteem. These keys are for the manifest body. But these keys are also associated that if you continuously choose to associate with this manifest body, these keys are ascribed to your free will choice of life, the duality. Now you have your polarity. Now you have your understanding. So with your understanding, it's going to come, how far are you going to let the pendulum swing? It's your rhythm. If you don't want to go any further, it's a deep subject. But with these keys, after you've transmuted your sexual energy from the base, then you've created a healthy self-identification. Certain times, you make certain decisions. This is where overstimulation in the society is terrible for our complexes, because then this is where we make certain decisions where they should all be authentic and genuine from the heart. Whether dogmatic or religion, whether spiritual, it should be authentic and from the heart. You should understand if there's agitation, if anybody says anything to you, you automatically want to jump back and debate with no hesitation. The enemy is you. So when you move on with that lesson at the inner gates, that's when it's opening, and being patient and pathetic. Because when you're down in your lesser keys, these keys are built for survival of you as your person surviving out alongside of everybody. This is you identifying alongside of everybody. This is you making a mark. These keys, the root, sacral, and your solar plexus, actual spheres in the body. Good, healthy development. This is the development of your self-identification, but as this material person. So safety and comfortability, as you will. A good job, high-paying job, the salary, high-income salary, where you gravitate towards you being able to know that you have a place to go to and comfort, and in return you have a check. In return you can pay for what's next. But you have greater keys. Once you access or utilize the lesser keys, access the gateway if you choose to. Here's the greater keys. Outside of the material manifestation of you wondering about you, me wondering about the enemy outside of me, this is where Jesus sets in the empathy and the compassion. Because in the greater keys, you start to understand. Now it's no longer your free will choice. It is the Most High's plan and his direction. And this is where being authentic and genuine sets in, because then you will know your direction. Because if you make the right decision, you will even feel it with conviction. You'll know you're supposed to be there, And from there, it's no longer about the material. It is still, you have to ground, but you understand that the energies outside of you, even through mentalism, and you creating this vision of you creating this WandaVision, like on some Marvel stuff, you creating this WandaVision, even with vision. Even your external enemies, all of your perceptions, it's all how you gravitate in that frequency of vibration. If you don't understand, it's because those external energies are also a part of the source one. It then becomes outside of the self of you as individual. So that's when Jesus developed compassion. Then he began to speak truth. That's when he will go in and begin fasting so he can go talk to the Most High, get his direction. Most High led his steps to where he was going next. He had his crown in the spiritual, but they tried to play him and manifest, and they gave him the thorns. But he had his crown. Your enemy is the self. Because if you stay low and you looking at somebody like me outside of you as your enemy, you real low. And you haven't used them keys to open them gateways to understand that everybody outside and all these energies belong to the Most High. And there's peace and love. Peace.